Good morning, everybody. This is Van Hargis with Van Hargis Horsemanship. I appreciate you guys joining me today on the Ranch Road. And I'm going to start off today, man, just by telling you, just like it is, you don't get where you want to go by staying where you are. In other words, you gotta get up. You know, it's kind of like the old cliche that you can't steer a parked car. You got to get up. You got to get going. You got to get moving forward. And the reason I'm saying that stuff today is that I just got about 3 emails in a row regarding overcoming fears and kind of regaining their confidence. And it's just talking about riders. And quite frankly, these riders were at different levels. One lady was contacting us in regard to her daughter's fears. Another lady had some issues with herself. And the crazy thing is that out of these 3, only one of them had kind of a horse issue. The rest of them, their fears and their anxieties were preventing them from being successful in enjoying their stuff with their horses. So I want to kind of help you understand a little bit what fear and anxiety is really all about. And then the next thing is how you might be able to overcome that. Fear and anxiety is basically normal. For example, I heard a really great story this morning that if you were walking around, say, in Africa, and you're just walking around and you're really enjoying the scenery, you're seeing all the animals off in the distance, and you're with a really good guide who's pointing things out, and suddenly you notice that the guide stops in his tracks and he points out on the ground a huge lion paw track. Question is, what would you do? And almost instantly, the first thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to quit breathing. You're going to focus on that paw track, and your brain is going to start thinking, where is it? How big is it? Is it hungry? Which direction is that paw print facing? In other words, all those things are going to hit you, but the physiological part is you quit breathing. When you quit breathing, what happens is that we go into that instinctive mode. And frankly, that's natural. But in regard to getting outside of our comfort zones, in other words, in getting to where we want to go in life, we're taking a journey to the unknown, whether it be with your horses, whether it be with your personal life, it doesn't matter. It's just getting beyond where you are is unknown. There's some people who just are adrenaline junkies and just love all kinds of new stuff, and they just go off and do that. And sadly, their crazy enthusiasm oftentimes triggers those who don't have that same genetic build, that same genetic makeup. It kind of makes that person feel guilty and even more afraid because of what's wrong with me? How come I can't be like that? I really admire that person that goes out and tackles all the new stuff, seemingly without fear, seemingly without anxiety. What's wrong with me? And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing wrong with you if you have that natural fear and anxiety. You see, there's nothing wrong with it. That is, quite frankly, very natural. But sometimes it can be debilitating. It can prevent us from doing what we want to do. Sometimes it's something incredibly simple. You know, like I pretty much make a living talking to people, sometimes little small crowds, sometimes great big crowds. And I'm always blown away by people who have a fear of getting up and saying anything to anyone. And they ask me, well, how do you do it? And quite frankly, I have no idea. I don't know how I do it. But what I have learned over the years is that regardless of the situation, I kind of trick myself into doing the unnatural thing in tight, anxious type situations. For example, I breathe. And that's what I want to encourage you folks to do, because most of the time we don't even realize we're not breathing. We don't realize that we've seen that line track in the sand, and we don't realize that we're focused on that line track, and we stop breathing for a moment. And when we stop breathing, it puts us on, I think they refer to it as like almost like the reptile mode. It's like we just kind of sink down and we're like, oh well, what's going on now? We're very reactive at that stage. We're very closed in. Our breathing gets very slow, very shallow. And what that does physiologically is that it closes us up. Literally, it closes your vision up. Your vision goes from being broad and wide and seeing lots of stuff to getting very focused and not seeing anything outside of that. So that even scares us more, and as a result, our breathing gets even shallower. So what do we do to prevent that? What do we do to to address that. And quite frankly, we make ourselves breathe. And not just breathe, because we don't want to breathe like, like you've just been splashed with really cold water. You want to breathe very big and very deep. Breathe in through your nose. It's almost like doing yoga, maybe. I don't know, but it's like you're breathing in through the nose and you're taking lots of oxygen in. And you're trying to breathe it really deep as well. You want to breathe in deep and you want to exhale slowly. Breathe in deep and then exhale slowly. And by doing that, you're automatically changing the physiological aspect of the fear and anxiety. You're giving yourself a chance to kind of get out of that narrow focus, and you're opening up your breathing and you're opening up your vision so that you can see things much more clearly. But I don't want people to basically be too hard on themselves for being worried and concerned. I mean, we're all worried and concerned sometimes about what lies ahead, and it's that fear of the unknown. And sometimes bad experiences teach us to do that even more. Bad experiences teach us that we've got to protect that inner self, that side of us that's afraid of making ourselves vulnerable. But the reality is, by staying in that cocoon, staying within that bubble, really prevents you from enjoying so much and achieving so much. And who knows what lies within you if you don't challenge that inner you to come out and explore. Get more done with your horses, get more done with yourself, get more done with your goals, get more done with your business, get more done for your boss, get more done for your family. In other words, just get more done by getting out of that immediate comfort zone. And for those of you who'd like to learn more about that, I'd welcome you to come to some of our clinics that we focus on overcoming fears and anxieties, both in your personal world as well as with your horses. Really appreciate you guys joining me today, and we'll talk about this a lot more. But until next time, this is Van Hargis with Van Hargis Horsemanship.